thing I'm most excited about is there's no pain.
What I'm most thankful for is the fact that I feel like I have control over this aspect of my life.
I started in 1999 doing pelvic floor physical therapy, and I've been doing pelvic floor therapy since. I've worked for 3 different hospital systems. I've helped start at least 4 different programs in outpatient settings mainly. I've helped train many new therapists that have come along the way. Since I've been practicing pelvic floor PT, research has increased, and everything that we do here is research-based.
I was supposed to have back surgery, and I went to Sabina instead.
I had this problem, pain with intercourse. It basically just makes you not want to, have intercourse with your partner.
So as a physical therapist, we help to strengthen muscles. We help to get people functionally moving. Then the component of the pelvic floor physical therapist is someone who studies the pelvic floor. It's a hammock that lays underneath us. It attaches from the tailbone all the way to the pubic bone, and it supports the pelvis. Without it, there'd be a big old hole in the pelvis. I think if you summarize the goal of pelvic floor therapy is to really restore those muscles of the pelvic floor and improve function. It could mean reducing pain, improving strength, improving flexibility.
Pain was a big issue, getting up every morning, going to bed at night, and all during the day, constant pain.
I really wasn't sure about it, but I'm glad that, even if it was a couple months, they called me and got me in, and ever since then it's been perfect.
I wasn't sure that the exercises would help because they were very painful. But what she was doing, she was addressing those areas that needed to be taken care of. And as I continued to exercise, the soreness went away and it actually helped.
Some of the more common symptoms that we see are pelvic pain, urinary incontinence, fecal incontinence, prolapse, core instability. I have to listen to what the patients need. And when I write my assessment down and when I talk to my patients, I find out from them what they want to accomplish. Our goal is really their goal.
You're so used to getting medication or different types of physical therapy. I didn't think that the exercise program alone would be helpful, and changing my diet would help, but it really did. It took time, but overall it's helped a lot.
She's helped me get through this part of my life, so sex is important. So in order to be confident going into it, like with my husband, it just makes everything that much better between our relationship.
One thing I realized over the course of 20 years of being a pelvic floor therapist is I'm comfortable with that area of the body. And a reason why I really feel like I'm comfortable with that area of the body is I grew up in a very Indian culture. Growing up with a mom who cooked on the floor, cleaned on the floor. I had the blessing of being able to be in India 5 summers in a row. The first summer I ever went, I went with my brother, my oldest brother, and my father. We were at the hotel. And I needed to go to the restroom. And I didn't know what to do. Because I opened up the door, and it was a big hole in the ground. And I remember one of the aunties, we call them aunties in India, came and she knew I was embarrassed. So she came and showed me how to squat down and use the bathroom in the facilities. And that changed so much for me.
She's super calm, really easy, just very, very calm, and she'll make you feel like you have nothing to be worried about.
She has such a calmness about her, and even from the biblical standpoint, she's so good at helping you look through things and pray for you.
It's not just your body. It's not just my body. It's the Lord's body. And it's His temple that He's given us.
She really cares about you. Once you build that relationship with her, she'll take care of you, definitely. So I think that's been one of the best parts.
She looks at the whole person, whole body and spirit, mind. And I think once you capture that and you know what that person needs to change, the way she goes about it You want to change, you want to do better.
I always knew I wanted a business. And when we found that first building and we signed the lease, my son said, well, Mom, what are you going to name it? Because we were so excited that we'd found this right building for this. I wanted to be special. I wanted to be about him. When I meet with my patients and my clients, I always have his radio playing. And I'm not afraid of having my Jesus Calling book. My son actually said, that's it. I'm like, what? His radio, his therapy. And all of a sudden, all 5 of us jumping up and down in the kitchen floor. I was like, that's it.
And Sabina, I don't care how busy she is, she would always check on me at night. Just see how I'm doing, just check in. And that's so important. I mean, she's a busy lady, but she puts God first, and that's what's so important, and that shows in her life.
There's a lot of people that you find that you can't trust in the world. So you have friends and then you have acquaintances, and she would be in the friend category, I would say. You can tell that she cares, and I really do love her. She's been nothing but a blessing for me for this past year. So she'd be in the friends category.
My dad's been in some kind of business since I was a baby. And I can say one thing, that my dad, he never was educated, didn't have a business degree, didn't have a CPA. He had an 8th grade education. But the one thing that he could do was relate with people, and he made connections. And the one thing I think that we need in every business, especially private practice businesses, that you need to be able to relate with people. And I think sometimes the bigger the system gets, like for example, the physical therapy office that I worked with, the bigger it got, I kind of lost it. You have to know your people. You have to know your community. And you gotta love them. And you gotta give them what they need.
She's been great. She's literally saved my life in a lot of ways. I mean, she has. She's someone that you can talk to, not just the therapy part, but someone that you can actually talk to.
We've just built a relationship over pretty much the past year, so it's been nothing but awesome.
When I left that company and was trying to research about private practice and physical therapy, I met with several of my colleagues who are in private practice, and we discussed ways of cash-based versus insurance-based medicine. And when I met with those wonderful physical therapists, they at that time told me that the upstate would not be able to handle cash-based services. And so I walked away from those meetings and I prayed really hard about it. And I can remember one point having an office manager, and I said, why don't we just go ahead and fill out the paperwork for Blue Cross Blue Shield? It took a long time. The pack was this big. We processed it, we sent it into Blue Cross Blue Shield. It took almost 2 months to get an application answer, and the answer was that we had to file the insurance if we were going to be in network. It doesn't have to be that way. Healthcare does not have to be this expensive. We're making it expensive by allowing insurances to tell us how much to charge. We're allowing insurance to tell us what to code. We're allowing insurance to tell us how many minutes to see these patients. I don't want to do that. It should be lower than what insurance bills, and it should be fair to the consumer. And I provide something to my clients like what we call a super bill. It has all their codes on there. It has what they paid. They take that super bill and they call their insurance company and they file their own insurance. What that does is it allows the consumer to be smarter about what they've bought. I think we live in a world where too many people are bought by insurance companies, including Blue Cross Blue Shield, United, Medicare, Advanced Medicare. All of these plans are out there. But the consumer is sucked into it and they're buying the plans, but they have no idea. I don't think that's right. It's my honor and privilege to be able to be gifted, to be able to just share with everybody about what the Lord has done in our bodies and what He wants us to do, how He wants us to eat, how He wants us to drink, what He wants us to